What the Study Says.
Welcome back to What the Study Says. I'm Dr. Kai.
And I'm Dr. May.
Okay, today we're diving deep into a study that's really caught some attention. It's from November 2025, published in Cell Metabolism, a top-tier journal.
Authoritative source.
And the headlines, well, they're pretty dramatic. Scientists find a simple rub-on serum restores hair in mice, 20 days,
Yeah, I saw those. The paper itself is titled Adipocyte Lipolysis Activates Epithelial Stem Cells for Hair Regeneration Through Fatty Acid Metabolic Signaling. Quite a mouthful.
It is. But it makes you wonder, right? Is this finally the cure for baldness everyone's been waiting for? Or, is it just something that works in mice? Let's unpack it.
Okay, so what's really fascinating here is that we kind of knew something was up. Scientists observed that skin irritation, like a dermatitis induced in these mouse models, can actually trigger excessive hair growth.
Hypertrichosis, right.
Yeah.
So the idea was maybe humans still have this regenerative ability hiding somewhere.
Exactly. But the big step forward in this study isn't just confirming the injury effect. It's figuring out the signal. What exactly connects the injury to the hair growth?
So finding the missing link. What did they discover? What's the pathway?
Well, they've termed it the macrophage to adipocyte to hair follicle axis. It sounds complicated, but basically, the injury causes inflammation.
Right, the body's first response.
And that inflammation calls in immune cells, specifically macrophages, to the fat layer right under the skin, the dermal adipose tissue.
Okay, immune cells rush to the fatty layer. Then what?
Then, and this is really interesting, the macrophages basically tell the fat cells, the adipocytes, hey, break down some fat. That process is called lipolysis.
Lipolysis, fat breakdown.
And that releases free fatty acids, FAs. Now, here's the kicker. These aren't just, energy. They act as powerful signaling molecules, like little messages sent from the fat cells.
Metabolic messages. So the fat itself is communicating. What do these fatty acid messages do?
They get absorbed by the dormant hair follicle stem cells, the EHFSCs, specifically certain types monounsaturated fatty acids, MUFAs. Think oleic acid, palmitoleic acid.
Okay, so the stem cells soak up these specific MUFAs.
And that absorption flicks a switch inside the stem cells. It boosts their mitochondria, their energy factories through PGC1 alpha signaling. It gives them the juice they need to wake up.
To leave that resting phase.
And start actually regenerating hair. It's quite an elegant metabolic pathway, really, originating from fat.
Wow. Okay, that's the mechanism. But let's get practical. The headlines mentioned a rub-on serum in 20 days. How does that connect?
Right. So the researchers tested if you could bypass the injury part, could you just apply the MUFAs directly?
Yeah.
And in mice, yes. They found that just putting these MUFAs on the skin, dissolved in alcohol, was enough to activate those stem cells and get hair growing. They saw hair emerging around day 10 or 11.
Just the fatty acids alone, no injury needed.
Yeah.
This is potentially huge.
It is. And there's that anecdote about Professor Lin, one of the authors. He apparently tried it on his own thighs for 3 weeks.
He did. And what happened?
He reported hair regrowth. Now, obviously, that's just one person, self-reported.
And of one study, yeah. Not exactly rigorous proof for humans.
Yeah.
But still intriguing. And these MUFAs, they're natural compounds, right?
They are. Found in olive oil, other foods. They have a known safety profile, which definitely helps the potential for future treatments.
Okay, so potential is there. But let's bring in the crucial context for you, the listener. This is exciting mouse work and even a compelling anecdote.
But it hasn't been proven in large-scale human trials, especially not for scalp hair, which is what most people care about clinically. We don't know for sure if this same mechanism works robustly in human scalps.
That's the critical next step, isn't it? Validation in humans.
Absolutely. But it does make you think, doesn't it? This whole idea of an injury-immune adipocyte lipolysis stem cell axis operating in the skin.
Yeah, where are you going with this?
Well, could similar things be happening elsewhere? We have fat around other organs. Like, could the fat around the heart, pericardial fat, send signals that affect heart healing?
Or maybe bone marrow fat influencing blood stem cells using metabolic signals.
Exactly. It opens up this whole idea of local fat depots acting as signaling hubs for regeneration in different tissues. It's definitely something interesting to mull over.
A really fascinating angle regeneration driven by metabolic signals from local fat. Definitely food for thought. Okay, that wraps up our deep dive for today.
Hope you found that useful.
If you did, please consider subscribing and sharing the channel. We'll be back soon with another look at what the studies are saying.